I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up? What up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. We just look to keep cashing. Difficult challenge this morning to do that, but we are back. We are ready to attack. I'm excited. I'm excited to share this card with you guys tonight. Never. We'll play a game of Never Have I Ever? Sure. Never have I ever had 3 monster dogs in the NHL on the single card. Never have I ever gone plus 260 on a play. That's not true. That's not true. We all know I've done that. But plus 260, how about a plus 481? We got a plus 481 tonight in the NHL. How about a plus 283? How about 3 of those puppies all stacked and packed, ready to fly? It's a 4-game NHL card for us tonight. No graphics. Just what you're seeing is what you're getting here tonight. I've been working on a little behind-the-scenes stuff. Some behind-the-scenes stuff today kept me busy. And I love these 3 NHL spots. And as I was putting them in there, I was like, am I really going to go in front of my friends, our family that depend on us to get winning tickets and give them these big bombs? And without hesitation, I clicked the button. That's how excited I am about these plays tonight. We're going to thread the needle. We've been successful with the needle threader. We're going to thread the needle across the card. I mean, that's what we're looking at here tonight. Then we're going to go to college hoops. Got done dirty earlier today. I'm just going to call it how I see it here. Trying to get the over in that Illinois State game at 132.5. Started out high flying. And I was doing some things, and I look back, and I'm like, did my computer freeze? The score hasn't changed in like 3 minutes. And then at halftime, the total's 131.5, and I'm sitting there going, man, this is going to be tight. Flipping a switch, Illinois State just shut down Missouri State. I don't even know what happened. I'm like, really? Really? This is what they're going to do me like that? So we're going to make it back. We got FAU and UAB going to attack a side. We've got Tulane and the East Carolina Pirates. We're going to attack a side. We're going to attack some totals in Delaware State. Yeah, we'll get involved with some Delaware State action. And Michigan State, Iowa for the big battle. The big battle. Probably the biggest battle of the night. Probably. A lot at stake. Looking forward to talking about that one. I don't know if it's contrarian or not, but it is what it is. And man, I got a couple more later on this evening that will attack live. But then I'm going to give you guys just two NBA plays, just a 2-pack. I struggle with the NBA just because they don't take it serious. And look, last night overall, yeah, we did all right in the NBA. I mean, we held our own, but it was where it was at was in the NHL, clearly. Hey, how about that? What did I say? What did I say? Now, here's the common mistake a lot of people make. They bet not to lose. Sounds weird. I know. Sounds weird to say. It's like buy high, sell low. Why would you do that? No. What do I mean by that? A lot of times people will take the regulation because they want to get the juice down. What did I say about that Vancouver game? I think this game ends 3-2. What was the final score? 3-2. Congrats on I should have played the exact score in that son of a bitch. Did you guys see that final goal? Did you see that final goal? Scores the goal and then gets in a fight immediately after. I was going to play it here today. That's my kind of goal scoring celebration. Got in a fight with like 3 dudes. It was awesome. 3-2, nailed that score. Nailed it. Split on. Gave out the The late night VIP plays there. The St. Louis Blues at plus 135. 3-2 again, but it cashed. Toronto did not get there. Toronto stunk the bet up against Vegas. Vegas puck line. Don't look now. Battling for number 2 of overall profitability in the NHL. What else happened? Capitals won. There's another 3-2. A lot of 3-2s yesterday. Another 3-2. Thanks, Pete. Thank you. Yeah, and so along the lines, look, I specifically said in that Vancouver game, I'm taking the regulation because I don't see the sneaky team likes to hang around with the plus 1.5, but it was too juiced. Anyways, what else? Tennessee Ole Miss goes over the number. We had under 139.5. They got to 154. The old bag over the head kick in the sack play of the day was that one. We got the Tennessee Tech. That was a little Ramon and Mikey Money alignment there from the morning steam. I shared that one. The under 139.5 catch. 137. So we got that one. Got in there. Just slid that one in there. Coastal Carolina. What I say? Kicking the shit out of Lemoyne. And they did. 86-67, minus 13. No problem. No problemo. Cincinnati, Kansas State. Well, Kansas State beat Cincinnati outright. Should have just stuck with my guns in the under. Bounce back at home, let us down. Florida Panthers. Whoa, Florida Panthers play tonight. Florida Gators. Wrong team favored. Man. We nailed that Georgia wrong team favorite spot last week. And we came back and we nailed Florida. It was Florida. We faded Florida week 1. We hammered Florida week 2. They get the win outright. Got a push in the Trailblazers. The 10 points. Got the push. If you got the 10.5, you cashed. Congrats. Boston. Hey. No nasty Nate had some props that got to the money. We'll take that push. Charlotte, 8.5. The close your nose, it stinks play of the day. Did stink. They did lose. So, look, all in all, 2 units of profit, and we'll take it. I've said it before. If you're you don't need to go bet dimes on games. If you put $300 a day over the course of the year, it's over $100,000. Do the math. We bet every single day. Oh, of course. How can I forget? The goal to fight cancer. You need a goal. Man, I was poetic justice there. Need the goal. Who else but Ovechkin ties the game up in the third period to send him to overtime, and the Capitals get the W. And Ovechkin scored. And Ovechkin had his shots total. Inspired me to make the plus 400 play that we have today. Inspired me. I'm inspired by that performance. What's the deal? So again, big show. Lots of games lined up. And then, of course, get ready. Get set. We go 8:45 p.m. We'll be live. It'll be the dual stream with our friend Razor Sharp Picks and company. We're going to have both sides going between Kick and YouTube. That's going to be a fun night. Got a lot of action in the late night window to talk about, and none better than this crew to do it. So we expect to see you guys there. I know you'll be there ready to roll. Thursday is connected to Friday, and then we are in weekend mode. So very much the bridge to the weekend. Hopefully you guys checked out First Strike. We got 4 fights out there. Big battles. I took a stab at the main card, the main event. Let's go. 4 plays out there to check out. Our guy, of course, Dan from Down Under. He's got the goods for some rugby action for your fix this weekend, so make sure you check that video out. And more to come, you guys. A lot more in the pike. Down the pike? I don't know. It's either a pipe or a pike, but roll that shit up and smoke it is what I say. Let's go. Let's get after it tonight. You know the deal. We need that thumbs up button. Kindly, listen, we are viewer supported in every essence of the meaning. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Turn your notifications on. You don't want to miss the plays that we give out. If you haven't done so already, become a member. We appreciate the members helping us, supporting us as we continue to grow this network. And the thumbs up button, the most crucial component of all. It lets YouTube know you're checking us out. We're doing the thing. close the chat, hit the thumbs up, pop the chat back open. Let's go to work, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I was just thinking of, honestly, we're in the trust tree, right? I stopped for lunch on the way home. I stopped at none other than Taco Bell, and I was thinking, man, I haven't had Taco Bell in forever. I had some box. I don't know, some shitty box. And now I'm reminded of why I don't go to Taco Bell anymore. Feels like a lump of just trash sitting in my gut right now. Ugh. I'd rather have Raising Cane's. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for coming in here tonight. I'm excited for the show. We got a bunch of big money plays out there. You know the deal. Pen and paper out. The best of the business assembled. They're here. They're ready to go. They're going to share their best bets. And I'm going to share my favorite bets here. These are my best early bets. Action I've laid across the board. And I can use San Diego beating Pacific. Actually, they don't have to beat Pacific. They just have to not lose by more than 3. They can not lose by more than 3. I feel pretty good. And right now you can live bet San Diego at plus 4.5. Part of the reason I jumped into that process had a lot to do with Pacific. 0-12-1 when they're a favorite of less than 4 points and a total of less than 159. Don't find a way to get it done as the favorite on a small line. When the books aren't sure where to put it, Pacific doesn't come through. Pacific will show you where to put it. So San Diego's live, I think, right now, guys and girls. Check that out. Play it as you will. Now it just went to 3.5. Now it just went to 3.5. Contrarian. It's not really contrarian, but that line movement had 0 to do with anybody betting. The pace of the game. There's a turnover of possession. Change of possession changes the number. It's not rocket science. Jover's here. He's ready to roll. Before we even get going, look at this guy. Razor sharp picks. Greening up, baby. Gifting a sports money membership. Our friend, we're going to be ready to rock tonight. He says it's shot time. Shot time. Shout out to you, Razor Sharp Picks in the house. Gotta say it with your vibrato behind their thing. Let's go. Razor Sharp getting us rolling. Jover's here. He's giving us an over. Jover likes his over. He's going Sabres and Tampa first period. Over 1.5. And there's Blue. Putting the other leg of the parlay together. This is Tampa first period puck line. Drop that -0.5. 3-way play. However that action looks out there. Shout out to Blue. Appreciate you sharing. Here's our guy, Gerald Jones, and he's been running 18-10. Look at this guy, man. Look at this guy. I think he was like 7-5 yesterday. I know it wasn't literally yesterday, but he's been on a tear. Look at our man here. Best bet, cash, Casey, yesterday. Today he's rolling with me. He's got Jacksonville and North Alabama over 141. I like it. Good luck to you, my friend. Great job on your winning streak. Keep it rolling. Joe Dubs here. Redbeard spells money. Peter Grassi is ready to roll. Says happy almost Friday. Gonzo's in the house. Plum Milk Company canceled the order. We found him. We found Gonzo. He's in the chat. He's got Dallas puck line, Tampa puck line, and the Utah money line. Shout out to Trisha M. Ready to rock with us here. 3-2, man. That was a great call. Nasty Nate cashing them props. Look at this guy. Says, how about them Celtics and White Pritchard over 3s? Parlay. Michael B. What's up, Michael B? It's smack talking Michael B the other day. One of my favorite guys to smack talk with. I think we were over on Sean Higgs' channel, checking out his midday money. Appreciate our guy Sean Higgs doing what he does, giving us a forum to chirp each other. Cameron Sinnett, Robert McCormick, appreciate you guys rocking. Let's go. It's go time. Stinna figure it out. I got a better one. Wichita State plus Pelicans money line UAB, Riverside, under, Hawaii, moneyline. Cal Poly, dog shit parlay, and not afraid to play it. All right. All right. Let's go. I'm gonna keep my eyes on that one. Dog shit parlay. I like it. Swizz in the house. Daddy Beats ready to roll. We got Captain in the house. Says hello from Mumbai. Captain Mutombo checking in with us here. Robert McCormick says smoke the kush and the bookies. Raising Canes. Shout out to Peter Gracia gifting us the $9.99 sports sticker, super sticker. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. That gets me ready to roll. That's a great way to transition this thing and get it rolling. Shout out. Cocktails will be flying tonight. May have had some cocktails last night. In fact, I definitely did. Check the box 3 days in a row. It's not a bender until you quit. David Wallace says Florida and that late night hit the spot yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. Never bad to cash a plus 140 or whatever it was. And I was super heavy on it too. So it was very exciting. Very exciting stuff. Okay. Like I said, you guys, no graphic. Just what you see here. We're going to start with Buffalo, Tampa. We'll put this out there for anybody that does want to come back and rewatch it. We'll indicate that we are at Buffalo, Tampa. How about that? On the fly. Told you it was a busy day. Not too busy to try to make money, though. Now, let's replay our significance of dialing into Buffalo sports. Big fade the other day. It was a terrible schedule spot, partly because they just got busted up by Montreal. Spent all that emotional energy, come home, get beat up, and then they were traveling to none other than Tampa Bay. Here they are. And they got UPL. Pekka Luukkonen going to start in goal. Sabres have lost 4 in a row. That's all that matters. This dude's okay. On a flip note, I did see Devin Levi, their rookie goal. Well, he's not a rookie anymore, but their goaltender that they drafted a year ago, finding his way through some excellence in the AHL. So maybe 2 years from now, this guy will be worthwhile. In the meantime, they got Pekka Luukkonen with the 3.09 goals against average and 89.1% save percentage. 5 goals on 27 shots his last game. 6-2 loss to none other than them Sharks. It was ugly. On the flip side, Tampa, you could have been coming into Tampa in a worse time. Tampa just doused the Columbus Blue Jackets. 6-2. So you got a Buffalo team that lost to the Sharks 6-2. Now, some will say, and this is why we played against it the other day, if you lose to the Sharks, you got to be pissed. You got to want to come back and fire off. But the problem is Buffalo doesn't have the tools necessary to fire off. And Tampa does. Tampa's dominant. Their return to excellence, 2.16 goals against average, and a 92.4% save percentage for none other than Andrei Vasilevsky. Now, Tampa, 9-1 in their last 10. Look, we're not going to belabor this thing. Let's get right to the fucking point here. How about that? Let's get to the brass tacks of the situation. The brass tacks of the situation is Tampa should absolutely dominate this Buffalo Sabres team in every sense of the way. Buffalo probably will struggle to find the scoreboard. So the puck line's a good play. Not a great play, but a good play. Buffalo's team total under. My problem with Buffalo team totals is whenever you need Buffalo to score or count on them for goals, they don't do it. And if you don't want them to score, they probably do end up doing it. So I'm going to stay away from that. What we are going to do is we're going to capitalize on the thread the needle play of the day. That is Tampa minus 1.5 with the under 6.5. And that's going to be a plus 283 opportunity. I think Buffalo's scoring deficiency continues. They're at that point of the season where they're tired, they're beat up, they've been back-to-back. I mean, travel galore. I was listening to Lindy Ruff do an interview the other day. Amongst the other things they talked about with the scheduling spot and the plane de-icer and going through customs and the 1:30 arrivals, sports science indicating that the Sabres team's pretty burned out. I'm paraphrasing, but essentially the heart monitors that they hook up to these boys during practice are indicating that they are fucking gassed. And they have to plan their practices accordingly because them boys are gassed. They're young. They're not used to this depth of the season. Even, the starting guys are just not starting guys. With the exception of Tage Thompson. I do like Tage Thompson. But that being said, Buffalo's gassed. Tampa's firing on all cylinders. Their only loss was to that Florida Panthers team. Them Cats. And them Cats are beating everybody up. So there's nothing wrong with that. They'll take their medicine. They'll move on. We're going to go Tampa minus 1.5 and the under 6.5 plus 283 to pop this card off. Let's roll on. Here's a spot that I found a little bit difficult to believe. First of all, we're going to talk Utah, Detroit. And I don't love either of these teams. So I better see something I like if I'm going to get involved with this game. That's where we're going to start with this one. That's going to be the curtain jerker on this conversation as it relates to these goaltenders. Karel Vejmelka will start for the Utah Hockey Club. He's okay. Just got his contract extension. He's probably feeling pretty good. The weight of the world off his shoulders. 16-16-4. That's lucky stars he got a contract extension. He does have a 2.45 goals against average and a 91% save percentage. That does make him a qualified starting goaltender. 5 years, $4.75 million. Good job. He's allowed 3 goals on 29 shots, 3-1 loss to the New Jersey Devils because the Utah Yeti are losers. You can't win the game if you don't shoot the puck. I mean, you got to score when you shoot the puck, and we'll talk about that with Detroit in a second. But that's been the problem with this Utah team. We talked about the roller coaster of the season they're going on, and right now, they're making a little roadie on top of this thing. Good job, boys. You're still the Arizona Coyotes. It's the Yeti. It's the Utah Yeti. We're going to bring the Yeti back. Ramon inspired me the other day. He said, hey, you know what? He said, there might still be hope. They might still have some hope that the Yeti come back. So we'll go back to it a little bit here. Overall with this team, though, they're not good. They're really not good at all. 15-13 as a favorite. Okay. I mean, they did have a little winning streak. Now, quality of competition, they beat Vancouver 2-1. They beat Chicago 2-1. Now, Vancouver was on that losing abyss. We talked about that yesterday. Chicago, the Blackhawks. Only scored 2 goals. Minnesota was interesting. They busted Minnesota up 6-1. There's a little more that goes behind the scenes for that game, though. Certain players were left off of the Four Nations roster, and they wanted to stick it to the Minnesota coaches. And so there was extra motivation to bounce back and stick them boys. Then they get New Jersey in town. I just mentioned that 3-1 loss. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the Clayton Keller situation. You'll fully be dialed into what I'm saying. That being said, they just lost to Devils, and they're rolling on the road to a team that hasn't won but one time since the All-Star break. The outdoor game messed up their juju. They lost back-to-back games, though, in all fairness to Columbus. Columbus can score. Columbus is certainly one of them over teams. Both those games did go over, 5-2 and 5-3 losses. The outdoor game, kind of an issue. And then they had Carolina when they came back at it. So they get back home, they play Carolina. Small little travel spot to get to that outdoor game for Columbus. This is going to be basically that's the Columbus outdoor spot, but, basically they're on their 4th straight home game. Sort of, right? I mean, I get it. It's only their 2nd, but look, we could walk from Detroit to Columbus. We could do it in a reasonable time frame. So that being said, you got a team that's fired up and motivated to get back after it. You got Alex Leon in goal, 10-7-1 as the backup. He's a qualified backup. The anticipation with the trading of Billy Husso. Now this guy is the bona fide number 2, and he's got better than number 2 stats. He's got a 2.75 goals against average and a 90% save percentage. So that Carolina game, 2-1. Look, dude stopped a beastly amount of shots, 28 shots on 30 total attempts. Still lost because they can't score. And this is where you got to flip the script a little bit. Look, I get it. They stink. They're bad. They're blah, 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 blah. I got it. Do your research, or I'll do it for you. You got to peel the onion back. This team, albeit in the Red Wings, they're scoring 1.77 goals per 60 minutes of 5-on-5. It's bad, right? The number we want to see is around 2.5 to 3 from some of the elite squads that are out there. You know, the teams that score a lot of goals, like the Capitals were for a while. It's kind of the benchmark. In fact, 7th worst in the NHL right now in terms of 5-on-5 scoring situation. Taking out the special teams, right? Bunting out special teams. Their expected goals, though, are 2.93. That's 8th highest in the league. It doesn't make sense. What it tells me is just a string of bad breaks that haven't gone your way. Factor in an outdoor hockey game inside there. You just played one of the best teams in the NHL in Carolina to a 2-1 loss. You got to fire. Not only you have to fire, but teams that are between the 160 and minus 150 range at home in the East are 132 and 99. So we got a little bit more of a tilt towards Detroit. And yeah, you could take Detroit and you could feel pretty good getting a nice little plus 116 number. There's no way, in my opinion, Utah should be favored at minus 125. But why stop there? Why stop there? If we're going to play the coin that says this team has just gotten bad breaks and those bad breaks can't continue forever, 1.77 expected goals in 5-on-5 situation versus 2.93, 7th worst 5-on-5 going situations, 8th best expected goal scoring situations. Something's got to break. And the guy that I said going to probably be captain of Team USA next year starts with Dylan Larkin. He's the top line center. He's that guy for a reason. And he's been struggling. Over his last 5 games, 13 shots on goal, 0 goals. Kind of makes sense. The team's struggling. They're not finding the wins. He's part of the issue as the starting line center. So let's put them all together. Let's package them up. Let's put the bow on this puppy. We're going to take Detroit. We're going to add Dylan Larkin to score, and that's going to make it plus 481. Can't continue to get bad breaks. The numbers show they're not just getting, the numbers show they're getting bad breaks, and that can't continue forever. Things settle down. There's why I mentioned this is basically their 4th straight home game since the All-Star break. Things do settle down when you're back at your own barn. Time and again. Shout out to Lexicon. Shout out to Irish King. Likes Detroit moneyline. No channels talking about Utah Valley today when they're playing for the conference title. Irish King, could you really walk from Detroit to get? I mean, it's going to take you a little while. Shout out to AODs rocking with us. Redbeards, you always remind me about the boosts. Catching the plus 100 for the plus 135. Let's go. Let's go, man. Trisha's got the boost on the puck line. I'm waiting for the boosts. I had to remind one Trisha M that I was looking for some boost information. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. Let's roll. Go time on this next game here. So we got another big bomber out there. In fact, the biggest bomber. What's up, Eric? This is What's Up Sports Money Crew. How do you do? That reminds me of little Johnny Cash. Boy named Sue. How do you do? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Picking up what I'm putting down. All right, let's go. 3rd game in the channel here. The NHL continues to fire. We're going to fire away on this one. We'll keep the big bombs rolling, baby. Feed me some Carolina Hurricanes. There's the spoiler alert. Yeah, I thought about the under 6. I did. Carolina's not happy with their current situation. We'll talk about it in a second. Korpisalo will start for the Boston Bruins. What do you want to say? He's 10-6-2. He's got a 2.81 goals against average and an 89.5% save percentage. Who's backup? Those are backup numbers. However, the one bright spot, the only win the Bruins have had in their last 8 games was a Korpisalo start. 31 saves on 33 shots against a dog shit oldest team in the league, Pittsburgh Penguins. It was a 3-2 victory. An under, by the way. A junker. On the other side of things, the Carolina Hurricanes. Look at these guys, huh? 22, 11, and 3. Kochetkov. 22, 11, and 3. Now he's got to be the guy because Anderson is MIA again. Medical issues. 2.49 goals against average and a 90.2% save percentage. Not bad for a backup. Now resident starter by unforeseen circumstances. And the Hurricanes have gotten back-to-back 2-1 wins when Kochekov's the guy, or with in general. And Kochekov's the guy, I guess is how I should have finished off that statement. There should have been a comma, not a dash in that statement that I just read, even though there's no statement. Saved 15 of 16 shots and a 2-1 win over Calgary Flames. Excuse me. When I mentioned that they're not happy, they made that big move and they got Rantanen from Colorado Avalanche, and everybody was jacked up. We got Rantanen. Rantanen hasn't done shit. Furthermore, kind of reminds me of the JT Miller move, right? That Vancouver gets rid of Miller so they can go to keep Peterson, and they're not happy with. They're fighting with each other openly, and JT Miller goes to New York and he's lighting the world on fire. He's got like 15 points since the trade or something like that. Anyhow, what are they doing with Rantanen? They're sitting his ass because they're getting ready to trade him. This is what I talked about 2 days ago or yesterday, right? The trade deadline comes up tomorrow. So roster screwery is what it comes down to. And not really. I mean, it's protection, right? It's asset management, they call it. They didn't say load management. They call it, I like the name of it, actually, asset management. You can't trade a player if he gets hurt. You don't want him to get hurt when you're in the middle of trying to work out a trade. That's what's going on with Carolina. Not happy with their current situation. They're just not scoring enough. They thought they were going to get more goal scoring. And look, it's an under city. You know, we can talk about the unders in Carolina up and down the pike here. 44, 28, and 5 over like a 75-game stretch of unders. I mean, 2-1 to the unders. So now we can start to have a conversation. Now we can start to have a clearer picture of what the hell's going on out here. Unhappy Carolina in a situation where they're not scoring enough goals, and we know they're the city of unders next to Dallas and St. Louis. East Coast. Boston, off a home loss, find themselves 39-22. They've had a tough stretch. A lot of losses in that 22 have come as of late. 1-8 in their last 9, as I mentioned. Going on the road, feeling wherever they're feeling. This is one of those situations you have to ask yourself, am I going to lay minus 314 on the Carolina Hurricanes? Well, right away, the answer is no. Not on this show. You take that down the street. You're looking for those plays. Am I going to lay minus 1.5 with Carolina to keep the juice down in case it loses? No, it's minus 127. We don't lay odds and juice. We don't do that. Well, maybe I take Carolina in regulation in case they win, but, it keeps the juice down in case they lose. We're not playing to lose. We're playing to win. We're going to take a swing. We're going to go with this Boston Bruins team. Situational opportunity. I know it's bad. I know they stink. They're still 28, 27, and 8. I mean, as bad as they are, the big deal here is the scheduling opportunity. Who's next? Little team that's kicking the shit out of everybody by the name of the Winnipeg Jets. Maybe you heard of them. They're playing the Flyers tonight. And everybody likes the under. And I've seen a lot of action on the Flyers. I'd be inclined to go Winnipeg in the over. And then they got Tampa Bay. So my point around this whole story is bad schedule spot for Carolina in a situation where they're kind of not happy with what they've gotten out of these results. If you look at their recent opponents, their wins came against that shit Detroit team we just talked about. Calgary Flames 2-1. They lost to the Oilers when the Oilers were bad. Let's not forget that. Oilers coming back from that All-Star break. Bad. Couldn't win. And they beat Carolina. And then they beat Buffalo. They got shut out by Montreal. Even though Boston's bad, this is still a step up in class, in my estimation. I'm going to take a swing with these guys as well. I told you, 3 big bombs to start the card, and I feel great about it. Plus 260. Now that could change in 5 minutes. Well, it'd be 35 minutes from now, but I think those are three really great plus money looks. The last game I added into the equation here is just one of those I can't believe my eyes. As a hockey aficionado that I am, self-anointed best hockey camper? I don't know. I'm just kidding. I can't believe Nashville. I can't believe it. It doesn't make now Detroit's situation where we talked about seventh lowest scoring chances versus eighth highest expected goals. Mathematically, that doesn't make sense. When you look at the roster and the moves that Nashville brought in, it doesn't make sense. What the hell is going on with this Nashville team? You know, we've talked about Stamkos, and obviously he didn't matter for Tampa Bay because they're beating the shit out of everybody. Marchmadness, obviously he didn't matter for Vegas because they're beating the shit out of everybody. We've got Decord looking like he's the likely guy in net for the Seattle Kraken. 21, 16, and 3, 2.66 goals against average, 91.1% save percentage. Starting goalie. Those are starting goalie numbers. However, he has been struggling. He's let in 12 goals over his last 3 games. It's important because what's happening right now with the Predators is they can't find a way to win. Nashville, 2 or fewer goals in 5 of their last 7 games. That's the part that I just can't, I can't make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. Unless, you know, if you guys ever played like NHL hockey back in the PlayStation days and stuff like that, if you put like lineup combos together and their chemistry is not right, then you can't, they just won't go out there and perform. It's got to, it's only, I know it's like been a bunch of years since I've gotten the PS4 fired off for that, but it's the only thing I can think of is Stamkos' oil and Marchmadness vinegar. And unless you're making a salad, it's not a place you want to be. On the other side of things, Saros is a problem. He's 14, 25, and 6 with a 2.96 goals against average and an 89.7% save percentage. I don't know. I mean, the Predators did just have a win, 6-3, but it was over them Bruins. So, yeah, 1-8 in their last 9 of the Bruins. Guess who gave one of those 8? The Predators. Maybe that's the little spark they need to get this thing moving in the right direction. I also think that this is an interesting spot because we just talked about yesterday the shitbags of the year in that trade process. Well, Seattle and Tampa. And I think Chicago ate some of that salary, if I'm not mistaken. But Oliver Bjorkstrand and Yanni Gord, the newest subtractions in Seattle. I don't think this is addition by subtraction. I think this is subtraction by subtraction. It was a bad team to begin with. You know, they blew the draft, and I've said this before, my estimation, Vegas showed everybody in the world forever going forward how to do a franchise draft to build a new team and hit the ground running. They made the maneuvers backstage. They were like, they had the protected list. And, then Joey, Seattle comes in there and they're like, it doesn't matter. I like this guy. He's a good locker room guy. And now you're in the position you're in. So you're a bad team and you get arguably worse because you just lost 2 of your better guys. You know they're better guys because Tampa wouldn't want to bother with piles of shit. They would just move on. And so there becomes the conundrum. I'm taking the Nashville Predators. We talk about the art and the science, and the intersection of those opportunities is where you find winning cappers here. And I don't have much science behind it. There's more art. Shout out to Keith. What's up, Keith? I just can't. It doesn't make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. Make this Nashville team make sense to me. And Seattle with the newest subtractions to their lineup. I don't expect them to factor into Tampa, but I do expect it to be a factor for a team where, their goaltending and Decord is soft in his last 3 games, and Nashville's not scoring. This could just be that opportunity they need to kind of, it's the slump buster, right? Let's call it what it is. It's the slump buster. All right. Onward, upward, let's get moving. FAU UAB is going to be the first college game that we're going to talk about here. I'm really fired up for this hockey card, so let's go. Let's go. I love the big plus money spots. I love them even more when they cash, clearly, respectively. 7 p.m., FAU, UAB are going to battle each other. Line open at -5.5. It's gone to 6, and now 6.5 is the latest move. Now, finally, a full point. 93% of the bets and 80% of the cash are on UAB. The line has finally moved. This 163.5 has come down to 159.5 in some spots, up almost a full 4 points of movement to the under. 64% of the bets, 65% of the cash are on the under. It has moved. It's correlated movement. Let's go. For me, this is a tricky little spot. FAU, they lose to North Texas. We were on North Texas. They go back on the road. They take down USF. 69-63 is 2.5-point favorites. But they are not covering spreads, and they're not covering them well. On the other side of things, UAB was winning and takes the big L. It was against Memphis. So they got it to UAB because they gave us that under cap with Temple. Remember, we were on that 16-game over streak with Temple, and no team in database history had gone 17 or something like that. So we got a UAB team that's home, back-to-back home games, and they're coming in off a loss against Memphis. Let the games begin, because I think this is a first-half opportunity with this UAB team. First of all, I don't trust UAB. FAU and them Owls, man, everybody's favorite. They get to the tournament, they get to the big dance, they start making a lot of moves, everyone's buying Owls gear, it's a big deal. UAB in the first half off a loss are 6-1 against the spread. They don't lose often, but when they do, they fire back. And again, home, they're 3-0. So you got that back-to-back home factor out there. Some great numbers I heard earlier today. Scoring margin, UAB is a much more ferocious opener than closer, and FAU is a more ferocious closer than opener. Ultimately, UAB finds themselves 14-8 against the spread in the first half as a whole. Add the fact that they're at home. Add the fact they're trying to bounce back. Add the fact that FAU starts slow and UAB starts fast. I got to go UAB. I got to take them in the first half. I laid -2.5 points for UAB in the first half. I have 2 first half plays today. That was a -112. You can still get that number. Still widely available. Going to pop off there. We're going to go to Tulane and East Carolina. Next game on the docket for us. Going to try to brisken this pace up here. Get a little passionate about the NHL. Especially when we get those plus money spots out there. I get excited. You gotta look at the under in Niagara. Man, it's come down from 128.5 to 127.5 to 127 now. Gotta take a strong look at that. I also kind of think it's too many points for Canisius to take on Ryder for anybody that's interested. And I saw some big trends to the over in Fairfield and Siena. Problem is 59% of the bets and 58% of the cash are on the over, and it's not moving. Where I'm moving next is going to take on this Pirates and Green Wave with some significant movement here. Here's the thing that we talk about sometimes here, right? 55% of the bets are on Tulane. Tulane. 48% of the cash creates a 7-point sharper money differential on them Pirates. Total's not really moving either. 85% of the bets, 85% of the cash. It's oscillating. That means there's 145s out there, but it's still juiced to the 144.5. So oscillating is the best way to describe it. Overall, East Carolina does have a home court advantage, 10-6 to the over, but 6-9 against the spread. Tulane's bad on the road, though, 4-7. So it's not like it's apples and oranges here. What it comes down to is Tulane doesn't perform in the dog roll. They're 3-8 straight up. East Carolina finds themselves 12-5. Most of the teams in this conference, when they're the favorite, find a way to win. It's a lot of parity. It's a bunch of shit basketball. 4-1 their last 5 are East Carolina. And oh, by the way, the spot. Remember yesterday, we just started calling it the spot. You're at home in a revenge situation. You lost to this team three games back, but after they were winning, they take down UAB, they take down Charlotte. It's a shit conference. Then they go into Tulane and they get busted up, 86-81. Now they were 2.5-point dogs, so they weren't expected to win that game. They certainly didn't. But how did they fire when they got back home? Game number 1, They put the boots to ass on UTSA. They said, defense be damned. They went out there and just fired off 96-89, got their confidence back. Stella got her groove back. Then they get Charlotte. They already handled Charlotte 75-59, so Charlotte's coming into town with some revenge on the mind. And, 78-76. Again, defense be damned. They're going to have to tighten that up for this game here. But to me, this opportunity is taking that, laying that 5, lay the lumber, feel good about it. 2 things going on. 1, home favorites up to a -9 off of back-to-back non-covers find themselves at 171 and 139. A little bit of a nudge, a little bit of the weather, the wind starting to blow towards East Carolina. And then it fully blew towards the East Carolina direction when we look at Tulane in the dog roll. They were a favorite, and they had more than 9 free throws their previous game. They're 0-13. 0-13. Home favorites up to 9, back-to-back non-covers, 171, 139. And then Tulane, 0-13. Look, they were a favorite, and what happened? Well, they got a lot of free throws. They still didn't cover. But, impressive to go into Tulsa, be the favorite, 3.5 points, 79-77, had free throws to eke that win out, and they don't bounce back. Well, ever. 0-13 says they don't bounce back. And then we've got, what else we got? What else do we got? All right, let's go. Umis in Delaware? Little Umis? Sorry, guys, I've been negligent on the chat. I'm slacking here. Fill it, kill. Sometimes I get going, dude. Subtraction by subtraction. You will Cueto. What's yo with the Knicks-Lakers spread? Makes no sense. Tricky game. David Wallace says East Carolina's his home team. That's a real tricky game, man. I'm going to look into that one a little bit more so that we can talk about it live for the 8:45 live show with razor sharp picks, everybody. We're going to have Keith each every stride there. Sports Money guys will saunter on in as they do. What do we got? Yumis. I don't know why it makes me laugh. Maryland Eastern Shores. Eastern Shore? Delaware State. Now, Delaware State, true story, just a couple years ago, used to recruit from the rec room. They used to go to the gym, see who was playing pickup ball, and ask them if they wanted to come play on their team. And now look at these guys, all grown up, minus 12.5 point favorites. In fact, you got reverse line movement. It's gone from minus 10.5 to minus 12.5, and you have 86% of the bets and 80% of the cash on Umis. Total, 52% of the bets, 52% of the cash on the under has not moved. Straightforward. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take a Jover. Just simplify it for you guys here. Delaware State games are hitting hot. 9 straight overs for Delaware State. The average total, 152. This is important. 152. I say it's important. That's the lifter. That's breaking the hammock. If some of you guys know what I'm talking about. 152 is the average number. We're getting 147.5. The final scores are getting to 167. So they're comfortably covering their overs by 15, and we're getting a 5-point discount right now. 4 of the games have gone over by 13.5 or more points. And Delaware State's a beast from the 3. That's the challenge. 40% from 3. They don't cover either. So if the dog's going to win, the over's got to pop. 5 straight games that they have not covered in the situation that they faced themselves in tonight. I'm going to go with the over. I'm going to take the 147.5. I think we got a good price. We're getting a discount on the rate there. Should go over by 13, 14 points, and it's got a 5-point discount in our pockets. Should be a 20-point cruise control over. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the final score. All we need to do is see 148 on that clock. 78, 70, fine. Delaware State's not covering anyways. Or at least that's what history would indicate in this situation. And then we got one last game here. We're going to go to the big one. I told you guys, I think this is the game of the night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Michigan, for somebody. Michigan State, Iowa. If you don't know, now you know. Only 15 teams make the Big Ten tournament. And who's ranked number 16? Iowa. Hard to believe. America's darling. Iowa. Now they need to win this game. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, this is Izzo season, man. Michigan State fires up. You know, this is one of them teams there that just finds a way to screw you. 71% of the bets and 69% of the cash are on Michigan State. It has moved from 6.5 to 7. Slight movement, considering some decent volume on there. The public doesn't care if Iowa needs it or not. And the total's gone from 152.5 to 155.5. Rick J. Iowa may cover the first half, but Michigan State been best team after half. They make adjustments. It's coaching. I told you guys, Iowa needs this game. Michigan State 24-5 coming in here. You know, you don't hear a lot about Michigan State. They're kind of like, I don't want to say they're humble warriors. No. They're 12-7 against the spread, too, so they're covering a lot of spreads at home. 7-2 on the road. They're even better on the road. Look out for Michigan State. We're going to have to put our peepers on Michigan State for this conference tournament here, the brackets. I mean, they're just down on everybody. It's a who's who of who have they kicked the shit out of recently. At Illinois, busted them up. 6.5-point dogs, won outright by 14. They got Purdue that comes into their hometown. 75-66. They bust them up. Michigan, they go into Michigan. 2.5-point dogs, they bust them up. 75-62. They go into Maryland. Everyone loves Maryland. They bust them up. 58-55 as a 4.5-point dog. And then they got Whiskey. Whiskey comes into town, and they just kicked the shit out of Whiskey, 71-62. Shout out to Jover and his Whiskey play yesterday. Minnesota did not win. Almost covered. Did not win on the money line. On the flip side of things, why does Iowa need to win this game? Because they're 1-4 in their last 5. They're not covering spreads either. But I think because the stakes are high and they need this game, it creates an opportunity for us. You can't get out there and flash and dash. You got to play closer to that 68-57 Northwestern spot. Now, they've had back-to-back road games when they're coming home. And, you know, you would think their defense has to ratchet it up. 3 of their last 5 have gone under the number. I'm going to the under in this game. You can't get into a shooting match. You got to slow the game down. You got to control the pace and tempo. You know they're going to make those adjustments at halftime, so you got to be hanging in this thing at halftime if you have any shot to win. I don't think they win this game. I think Michigan State gets it done. I don't want to lay some points to find out. I'm not going to FAFO, but I know 12-0 finds Michigan State to the under when they're playing a team that's got 3 or more days rest. And Michigan State allowed less than 77 points and over 4 3-pointers. Total went under. They didn't care about the perimeter. They just boxed you out inside the paint. And they're going under by 15 points a game. I love that one. You're crushing them on threes. Or you're letting them crush threes, I should say. And yet you still kept the game under. Because you got heart. And that's what coaching in this situation. I've watched that dude borderline assault kids. Remember that one game? Was it like 4 years ago, maybe? Hey, San Diego takes the lead, boys and girls. San Diego takes the lead. Hang on just a momento for me. Uno momento. 4 for 4. Fuck. Do. Sorry, I had to respond to this. Not often I have to do that. If anybody's wondering, I do have the second leg of a parlay tied to Boston University on the money line. So if you're looking for some more college hoops action. Sorry, I was right in the middle of that talking about the under with this Michigan State. So I got 12-0 to the under. How about this is a college basketball situation. So when we look at trends, right, we look at lots of different factors. College-wide, team-specific, and then sometimes coach or player-specific, right? Those are kind of the 3 lanes that we can kind of run down when it comes to trends. And in this case, this is college basketball. Teams that average over 160.5 points that have gone under back-to-back spots continue to roll under 55 and 33. when they're playing a team that doesn't allow a lot of points. So if you're a high-scoring team and you fall into the rut and you're playing a team that plays defense, the rut continues. And that's why I think it's going to be tough for Iowa to get this W. Maybe a parlay piece. I don't know. I don't like to fuck around with the juju when it comes to, what do we got, senior night too, probably on top of all that other shit. So just give me the under. Give me a lower-scoring defensive game. That's going to be the way that we put the bow on college hoops. Let's roll over. 1-point game for San Diego. Hell yeah. Rick J says you got to come on. Yeah, and they can't hit threes. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll see. I'm going to, you got to slow the pace down. You can't put yourself in a 3-point game when you're not good at it, and Michigan State's great at it. It's just not a good formula to win games. That's what it comes down to. Let's go to the NBA. We got a couple of spots in the NBA here. Put these tags out there because I was a little tied up today, a little busy. All right. What we got? NHL's going to pop off here in 6 minutes, and I get a front row seat. How about that? 2 games in the NBA. We're going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. I'll tell you what, I like the Pacers. This line's come way down, though. I like them at -3. It's gone down to -1. I don't like it. Not my thing. Not my thing. I like Orlando Magic. I saw Giddey's in, though, and that makes me a little bit nervous on the Bulls side of things there because when he plays, they find a way to stymie. No Vuce, no rebounds. Giddey's going to have to play that role. 7:30 start the Warriors. The Nets, big favorites, -10.5 have gone to 11. 66% of the bets and 76% of the cash. They're on the Golden State side of things. Total's gone from 225.5 down to 223. 92% of the bets and 90% of the cash are on the under. I've taken some unders in Golden State, and it's not a fun place to be. It don't feel good. It's uncomfortable when they're daggering threes all over the place. And you're just like, oh, every time they score, it's like, oh, they're doing it again. 15 and 17, however, to the under when they're on the road. So I get it. And Brooklyn at home, 11 and 18 to the under. The Nets find themselves off of an over. 2 of their last 3 games have gone over. Actually, 3 of their last 4 games have gone over the number with this Nets team. Not entirely by their own doing. I mean, OKC, 129-121. It's OKC. They knew they were going to get into a gunfight. 127-113 Spurs. Okay. Portland, they only got 102. At Detroit, 94. The Warriors, cutting everybody. They got Jimmy Buckets. They're feeling good. Golden State Lakers, going to be some interesting battles as they get towards the Western Conference postseason. But look, they have gone back-to-back unders. Jimmy Buckets in there. They're playing some defense now. They take down, I mean, there's a long road trip. This is their 5th straight game on the road as well. So it's a dicey situation when it comes to what you can expect out of this team and their energy and their, to me, I just look at this. I said, look, the Nets, they're an under team. When they have less than 19 free throws their previous game, and they're rested, meaning they're not on the second leg of the back-to-back, they're a perfect 10-0 to the under. They're not just going under, they're cruise controlling the under by 15 points. Now, do you want to fuck around with a full game under and watch Steph Curry biting on that mouth guard while it's half out of his mouth, shooting free throws at the end of the game, and then you need one miss and the guy goes out there and daggers both of them? Or would you rather take the Brooklyn Nets and say, fuck them, they stink. They're not a good offensively savvy team, and they got a chance for Golden State to come in here and shut them down. Yeah, we're going to play that option. I'm going to go with the Nets team total under. I don't want to watch Steph biting on his fucking mouth guard, daggering me at the end of the game when I'm trying to desperately hang on to a 223. I mean, the points already moved down a couple points now. So, to me, the only spot to play in this one is the team total under. You can get 106.5, so you can get 105.5. Shop around. I think I got, what did I get? Let me see. Steph. You know what I'm talking about, too. I got 106.5 at -125. A little bit of juice. I'm okay with it. Last game I got for us here when it comes to the NBA. We're going to go and take a look at this Houston game. I can't get the picture out of my head now. Steph twirling the ball, doing his thing. I don't have a really good Steph Curry impression, but shout out to Oldie. Look at this guy. So shout out Ramon Scott, Sports and Team Steam, best in the business. Shout out to Old E, giving us a $10 bagger. Look at my guy. Shout out to you, Oldie. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Okay. My dude. I'm going to get a proper drink in us here for the 8:45 live stream. MC in the house. His game just went off the board on my bookie. Which game are you talking about? Which game do you speak of? Okay. All right, listen. Last game, we're going to wrap this thing up, get everybody up and out of here, and then we'll be back. 8:45. Give you a little reprieve, get some dinner, get yourselves ready to roll. This line's coming down 5.5 for Rockets. Pelicans have dropped to 4. 50-50 split on the bets with a slight edge on the cash. The bigger bettors coming in on the Pelicans. 56% of the cash coming in on the Pelicanos. The home dog was good enough to move it. 229.5 moved to 231.5. 89% of the bets, 88% of the cash on the over. I like the over. At first, I liked the over. I was thought about getting invested in the over. Then I remembered my recency bias here. I just took an L on the over, and it was because of fucking Freddie. FVV. FUC. Because I was not happy about that spot. It was a definite tagger. When you look at it, 4 of the last 5 games have gone under for the Rockets on top of that. I mean, they're on a 3-game losing streak. 113-103 to Sacramento. 137-128 to OKC. Indy, these are back-to-back road games, so this will be their 3rd straight road game after having lost it. Kind of a shit trip, too. OKC, Indiana, New Orleans. They got to put some fucking air miles on them boys. And the Pelicans stink, too. They're no better. They just got hosed. They had 4 straight road games. 4 straight. Kind of a big deal. Coming back home for the first time. It's always toughest to play at home after a long road trip. We've talked about that. That's kind of been one of the mantras that we believe in around this place. At the end of the day, for me, this one was real simple. Maybe it's too simple. Pelicans not covering, coming off of a long road trip, not winning. Last game against the Lakers, probably used a lot of energy. That was a big primetime opportunity. But they stink. When they stink, they really stink. And, many layers of stink when it comes to this New Orleans Pelicans team. Zion, I like his under points total. I've been making some money on his unders. What are we going to get out of FBB? I don't know if he's in or out. I mean, I see that he was out on Tuesday. We knew that. That one's the one that screwed me. But when they allow 14 or more fast break points, and the total's less than a 239.5. They're perfect 0-13. The Pelicans. I'm going to expect tired legs coming back home off that long road trip and go with the first halfer. Going to go back to the good old. Now look, the lines come down in the game. Kind of says maybe they figure shit out at halftime, or maybe the Rockets. Somebody's getting tired in the second half of this game. But I'm going to go with this first half spot. I think this is a good spot. -2.5 was the number I laid. Let's see what you can put out there now. Can get 1.5s even now, and some 2s. Better number than I got. That suggests. Let me see if Ramon dropped it in the chat for us. Ramon's always good with that stuff. Canisius McMillan is now doubtful to play tonight against Ryder. Oh. Shit. I like Canisius in that game. That's tough. Look at Nasty Nate's giving us a little parlay. Tatum, Steph, and Trey. All right, so I'm on Houston. I got the Houston Rockets in the first half. That's going to be the way we put a bow on the show, everybody. Thank you guys for checking us out tonight. Make that money. Make that money. And get back to us. 8:45 tonight. We're going to be live. We're going to be live on Kick. We're going to be live on YouTube. We're going to be live everywhere. Best goddamn live show in the business. When this crew puts its heads together, nobody makes more money than us. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks, dipped in the Sports Money membership. Peter Gracia with the $9.99 super sticker. And our guy Oldie coming through with the $10 dono. Ramon Scott, Team Steam, best in the business. We do appreciate Ramon Scott and his contributions. Good luck, everybody. Get that money, and we will see you later on the night. Smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. If you're not a member, help us out. Huh? We're listener supported. We need you guys. We need you to get on board with us. Let's make that money together. Let's keep rolling. Let's have a big fucking night. How about that?